Hi everyone. Well, today it is Wednesday the 12th of August 2026 and there's going to be a solar eclipse and it should peak here in Greenwich around about 7:10 I believe. So I've come down to the Greenwich foreshore. I don't have any of those special glasses, so obviously I'm not going to be looking at the eclipse with my bare eyes. That would be very, very silly. But I thought I could come down here, do a bit of mudlarking and just capture the atmosphere down on the Thames whilst the eclipse is going on. The last eclipse we had was it back in 2000? I can't remember, but it was quite a long time ago, and I was working in the city at that point and I didn't get to see very much of it at all. So now it's ideal, and it's also a beautiful day. The sky is really clear. So I'm bringing you down here with me. Let's just take some nice shots of the river. Let's see how the atmosphere changes. Let's see what happens. And maybe I'll find something really special as well. Low tide's at about 9 p.m. It's now about 6 p.m. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Well, down here I have spotted what looks like a really nice pipe bowl. They follow me everywhere. Oh, it looks like a particularly nice one actually. I'm not sure what it's got on it, but it's just there, look. Let's take a closer look. I'm always happy when a pipe decides to make an appearance. Oh, this one looks decorated and it looks quite elaborately decorated actually. Oh, that looks like a bird. Right, there's not much stem, but I think the design is going to make up for that. What a treat! What a treat! Oh my gosh, look at that. That is so lovely. Now, what is that? Is it an eagle or is it a chicken? It's rather wonderful that I found this on the day of the eclipse. I like to think that that's an eagle. And on the other side, it's the same bird, but that will fade eventually to be the same colour. What a gorgeous pipe bowl. I wonder what that represents. Very nice indeed, and it's also got a lovely heel there, quite elaborate as well. Well, beautiful. Thank you very much. First find on Wednesday the 12th of August for the solar eclipse. There's also a nice piece of pottery underneath this big lump of concrete or whatever it is. Nice splash of blue there. And oh look, we may as well pick this up too. This is the heel of an older clay pipe. The one I've just picked up looks as if it dates to around about 1840 or so. This would have been older, 1700s maybe. Well, we're off to a good start, aren't we? We're off to a good start. We can tick off clay pipe for the evening. Actually, there's so much of interest here. These pieces of pottery here are actually fragments of sugar cone moulds. I've actually seen something really lovely down here, and it's an example of one of the older things that we find on the foreshore. Now, can you see what I'm looking at just down here? There, now that looks like an echinoid, or it could even be there's a special name for the heart-shaped ones. Something like micrasta, I think. Oh, and it is a heart-shaped one. Oh, that is so special. That is very, very special indeed. And it's absolutely perfect as well. Yeah, that is a heart-shaped fossil known as a micrasta, I think. And it's quite symbolic to find that as well. I think it's a good reminder to everybody today on this special eclipse day to go forward and make sure you love yourself 100%. So this heart is dedicated to all of you watching this video. Whether you believe in all that stuff or not, I dedicate it to you. That's a stunner. I was reading that if you do the selfie mode and just look at the screen and watch the eclipse that way, that can work. So I'm just trying that out now. Just getting the sun in view. It's just behind me there, see? So we could try that, couldn't we? And there's that big old sun over there. I don't know if anything's happening yet. It's hard to tell without glasses. It's 1854, so we're getting closer to the main event. There's a family of swans sitting on the foreshore just over there. So I'm going to hang out with them. And there's lots of people that have come out along the banks of the river now to watch with their glasses, all these very organised people that actually bought glasses before they all ran out, these special eclipse glasses. I must admit, I can't think of a place I would rather be than on the Thames foreshore for this solar eclipse. It just feels like the right place to be. Although I have to say, I'm not sitting on the comfiest rock. It's kind of damp and it's really sharp. It's sticking in my bum. It's quite a dusky kind of light now. Just put it over there a little bit. Swans are having a little nap. Well, that was a very relaxing experience, sitting on the foreshore with the swans, experiencing the eclipse. A very kind man and his daughter just let me try on their eclipse glasses, and it was amazing. I saw the actual moon on the sun. It was incredible. Brilliant. What a nice person. Anyway, I am going to continue to do some mudlarking now. I've just seen something interesting here, just appearing out of the mud. I hope it's not something potentially explosive or something that was explosive. Just here, look. See that? Looks interesting, doesn't it? It's certainly worth investigating further. Let's see what it is. Or let's see what it was. I'm always aware that it could be something ordnance related, but well, we'll see anyway, won't we? What's this? Ooh. What is that, I wonder? Get it in the camera frame. Ooh. Let's give it a little rinse. I'll leave my trowel there. Let's put it in the water. Ugh, it's really sludgy under there. Not very conducive to giving it much of a wash at all. Well, I'm not entirely sure what this is. Maybe you know what it is. I'm going to put it aside a moment and continue with my mudlarking, and we'll come back to this later. Now that is quite clever, standing on one leg like that. Can't be too comfortable, can it? You know, it's really cool. I've just found, I think, a Bartman face. How brilliant! Right, I still haven't put this anywhere yet. Let's give this a wash. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a cheeky Bellarmine face under here. And yes, there is. That is fabulous. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see his eyes, his nose and part of his mouth. Isn't that great? You couldn't see him at all there. That's lovely. From a Bellarmine jar, Bartman jug. So I've just seen a little coin down here. It's probably an old penny. It looks about that kind of size, and it is 1907. No, it can't be 1907 because that's Queen Elizabeth. No, it's 1967. Nice old penny. So I can see something circular down here, which looks as if it could well be another coin. It's just here, look. So what is this? Oh, is it a pound coin? Do you know what? It is. It's a pound coin, but because of the colour of it, it looked like something a little bit older, but it's not. It's a fairly modern coin. Never mind. Do you know what? Down here I've seen another echinoid, and it could even be another micraster. Look at that. It's another heart-shaped fossil. It's vaguely heart-shaped anyway. That might be more of an echinoid, but it's definitely got something heart-shaped about it. See that? A sea urchin fossil. Wow, how special to find two in one outing. Now I'm going to zoom in on something I've just seen sticking out of the mud over there. At first I wondered what on earth it was, and I've just realised what it is. Just there. That is the remains of a shopping trolley, gradually disappearing into the mud. So maybe in a couple hundred years' time, some future mudlarks will find it and get excited. Oh dear. How on earth did it get there? There's an army of Canada geese over there. I'm wondering if they're all going to take off and fly somewhere. They sound like they're kind of getting ready. Yeah, there you go, look. Off they go. I wonder if the rest will follow. Gosh, it was so peaceful here during the eclipse, and now it's just really noisy. We got the party boat over there. Look at all these Canada geese disappearing into the sunset. Loads of them. Some here as well. There's some here too, but I didn't notice these ones. This must be another clan. It's quite dark now, actually, but I can see another clay pipe here, look, making an appearance. You can see that it's got a very nice heel. See it there? Let's ease this pipe out and see. Oh, it's a bit broken. A bit broken. Never mind. And there's no design on it, actually. So, not quite as nice as the one I found earlier on, but let's just give it a little rinse anyway. We don't want it to feel that it's less important, do we? And it might have a nice initial on the heel. Let's have a look. Oh, it does on that side. It does have an initial, and the initial is, I think is that F or P or E? One of those, anyway. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave that here, actually, because somebody else might like to find it who doesn't find quite as many pipes as I do. So I shall leave it there for somebody to find. Well, that was a lovely, lovely evening. And it's actually really busy down here, which is quite nice in a way. There's not usually this many people, but because the eclipse was going on, lots of people have gathered down here. So it's nice to see so many people enjoying the foreshore. So I'm off home now. And I'll see you very soon. Back in the studio. Hi everyone, thank you very much indeed for watching and for joining me on my Eclipse Mudlarking special, the Solar Eclipse Mudlarking special, filmed on the 12th of August 2026. And I know what you're thinking, at least some of you might be thinking, well, we didn't see very much of the eclipse, did we? Well, that's true. I somewhat naively thought that you would still see some kind of shadow going across the sun, even without glasses. And I was really careful not to look directly at the sun. Obviously, you can do great damage to your eyes if you do that. So I was trying to do it in the selfie mode, you know, turning my back to the sun and then just looking at the screen. And what you may have noticed, and if you didn't, do go back and take a look, you actually do see evidence of the eclipse in the little lens flare captured on the screen. And I didn't realise that until afterwards, actually. You see a little sort of crescent green moon jumping around on the screen on most of the little bits of filming that I did when I was actually looking at the camera in selfie mode. So there is evidence of the solar eclipse there, even though it's maybe not quite as impressive as one might have hoped. But quite apart from that, it was a really nice atmosphere down there. There were so many people along the banks of the Thames with their glasses. I was so disorganised I didn't get any glasses, and by the time I wanted to get some, everywhere had run out. And so there were lots of people there looking at the eclipse, and it was just nice to absorb the atmosphere. And it was really cool just to hang out with the swans and the geese right by the water. And it definitely did go a little bit darker at some point. So I really do feel like I experienced the solar eclipse in a way that was just perfect for me down on the river. And the light did look absolutely beautiful. So when I got home, I was smiling because I actually found 3 objects quite linked to myth and folklore. And of course, the eclipse has been linked to myth and folklore in ages gone by, like when people used to think that a big wolf was coming and eating the sun, that kind of thing. So it felt quite appropriate that a few of these finds also have a little bit of superstition, myth and folklore attached to them. And so let's have a look at those ones first. And they are the 2 little fossils here, heart-shaped fossils. These are echinoids. They are sea urchin fossils. They're some of the oldest things that we find down on the River Thames. And they are also known as fairy loaves, like little loaves of bread. So when sea urchins die, they lose their spines quite quickly. So these fossilised sea urchin fossils can, with a bit of imagination, look like a little loaf of bread. And not just any loaf of bread, but a loaf of bread that the fairies make. And apparently, legend has it that if you keep these in your house, or people used to believe that if they kept them in their house centuries back, that they would never run out of bread. I don't think that's true anymore, because I definitely run out of bread. And I wake up in the morning and I think, oh, I'm going to have a nice piece of toast. And then I go in the kitchen and I realise that I forgot to buy bread. So I have got a few of these in the house. So I'm not sure that that is absolutely true. But legend has it that these do prevent the household from running out of bread. They also, apparently, if you put them on a shelf, they're supposed to stop the milk going sour. But whatever reason you might like to have them in your house, they are just very pretty, aren't they? These lovely heart-shaped fossils. And actually afterwards, when I was driving home, I was really kicking myself for not starting to sing Total Eclipse of the Heart. And particularly poignant, of course, because Bonnie Tyler died recently and she's the one who sang it. So you're quite lucky maybe that you didn't get a rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart when I found these on the foreshore, because I only thought about it afterwards. So that's that. Really special to find these two fossils. The other object which is steeped in folklore and myth is this partial face of a Bartman jug, 16th, 17th stoneware. It would have been part of a large vessel and with a big bulbous body with the face of a man on the neck. Now, I've got quite a few of the actual faces in more complete condition here, like these two. Each face on these that we find, they're also very, very different. They're usually very sort of frowny, grimacy, miserable looking faces. And they are supposed to be a depiction of the wild man, the mythical wild man. They were mostly produced in Germany and they were used for containing wine and beer. But sometimes when they were empty, they used to be used as witch bottles and would be filled with all manner of nasty things like blood and urine and pins and toenail clippings, all that kind of thing, put into the witch bottle and then buried under your doorstep or put in the chimney behind the bricks, kept in your house to basically ward away evil spirits and to protect your house from evil. So another nice find linked to myth and folklore. And this is a lovely example. And I wasn't at all expecting to find that in Greenwich. I've never actually found a Bartman face in Greenwich before, so I was really, really happy to find that. My pipe bowl is certainly worth a mention. I love finding decorated pipe bowls. This dates to Victorian times and it has an eagle on both sides. Now, I bumped into two of my mudlarking friends down on the foreshore that evening, Steve and Susan. And Steve suggested that this could be related to a pub called the Spread Eagle. And that makes perfect sense because actually there was a tavern in Greenwich called the Spread Eagle Tavern. And so perhaps they made pipes with eagles on for their clientele to smoke. It's really lovely. I've not found one like this before, and I do love the eagle, so majestic. And I think if I was going to be an animal or a bird, I would choose to be an eagle, to just soar up in the sky and look down at the river below. So a lovely find to add to my growing pipe collection. I always seem to find something pipe related when I go out mudlarking, don't I? So that's that. Of course, I've got my Elizabeth II coin, this penny here. And lastly, we have a mystery find. I always love a good mystery. So we've got this, it's made of brass, it's pretty big and pretty heavy. and I'm not terribly sure what it is. Now, Steve suggested that it could have something to do with a hose from an old hose pipe, maybe on like a fire engine boat or a fire engine. I'd say it's fairly vintage though, maybe dating to the late 19th century, early 20th century. So this is where I would like your thoughts. What do you think? Let me show it to you a bit closer there. It's got these sort of rims here that, you know, could indeed be so that a hose wouldn't come off of it very easily. But I'm asking for your thoughts on this. What do you reckon? A nice mystery find. So I'm very happy with those finds, actually. Very, very happy indeed. Do I have a favourite? I think my favourite is this lovely heart-shaped micraster. And in fact, I will put it in the kitchen. And so hopefully that will ensure that I don't run out of bread again. And perhaps every time I look at it, I'll think, Nicola, buy some bread. You've run out of bread. Do you have any objects in your home that are linked to myth and folklore? Or do you have any stories about objects that are linked to legend? Let me know in the comments below if you do. And let me know what your favourite find is. And do let me know if you actually saw some of the solar eclipse on the 12th of August. I'd like to say a big thank you too, of course, to the gentleman and his daughter who let me have a little go with their glasses, which is when I realised that, oh my goodness me, if I had glasses, I would have seen such a lot more. So that's it for my finds. And well, what else? I will mention again that I'm doing a talk at London Museum Docklands on Sunday the 27th of September at 2 p.m. I'm going to talk about some of my finds that are related to people that lived and worked along the Thames back through the ages. So that should be quite good fun. And the Thames Festival is going to be happening throughout the month of September. So there'll be lots of events going on. And so that's it really. I hope that you've had a good weekend or a good week and that things are all going really well for you. If they're not going so well, I hope that things look up very, very soon. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting and thank you for all your support. And thank you to everybody who has donated to my Ko-fi, and super thanks. And I'll be back very soon with more adventures searching for history in the mud of the Thames or elsewhere. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, do something that you really enjoy doing and look after yourselves. Okay, I will see you again very soon. Bye.